In their quest to find Narib's family treasure, he and his fellow adventurer, Vister, have found themselves drifting at sea, lost. Lost, that is, until they came upon an island, harboring a most unusual surprise.
I don't know how much longer we can take this.
How long have we been drifting at sea?
I'm not sure anymore. 6, maybe 7 days? We're almost out of food and water.
Oh, I'm so hungry I'd even eat one of those vultures.
First, they're seagulls, not vultures.
Then I'd eat a seagull.
Second, you'd have to catch one.
Oh! Oh!
What are you doing?
I'm trying to lure one in close enough to catch it.
Then shouldn't you try to sound like one? Right now, you're probably just making them laugh.
Hey, what's that?
What?
Over there, I think it's an island.
No, it looks more like a ship.
Whichever it is, it isn't more ocean. Let's try to get there.
You're right. It is an island.
It looks like you were right, too. There are ships, several of them.
Ahoy! Can anyone hear us?
Hello? Hello?
I'm not sure anyone is on the ships. They all appear to be crowded onto the shore.
What are we waiting for? Let's join the party.
We made it!
I am so happy to finally be back on dry ground.
I wonder what all this commotion is about, Feaster.
I don't know. It's so hard to make out any one voice from the crowd.
Let's see if we can wade through to the front of this crowd. Someone must know what's going on here.
I'll give it a try.
Excuse me. Pardon me, but hey, you! Stop! What is happening here?
Lysara! I want Lysara!
What is Lysara? Where are we?
Let her come back and sing more for us!
We love you, Lysara!
Are you having any better luck getting an answer, Veester? Well, are you? Veester? Where are you, Veester? Veester!
That's enough. It is time for you to leave.
No! We want Lysara! We need her! Please bring her back!
Bring them all back for more!
We want more!
We want more! We want
There will
more!
be no more men chosen today. Come back tomorrow morning.
No, we won't leave!
Bring back Lysara! I'll pay you handsomely!
Shove off, you wretched barnacles.
I'll fight you for her!
Don't be a fool.
Ah!
Run back to your ship and never let me see your face again. I promise you'll lose your head, not just your sword, next time.
Veester!
You two, are you deaf or do you just not understand? I said come back tomorrow.
We don't understand, and we certainly don't mean to intrude. You see, we were lost at sea until we found this island. We are hoping to gather enough food and fresh water to continue our journey.
I have nothing to offer you. Beg, borrow, or steal what you need from the other sailors. Just leave the women alone.
What sort of woman is this Lysara? What does she do that the sailors want her so badly?
Lysara is no mere woman.
She must be quite lovely. I guess that explains why you had to protect her from that crowd.
Protect her from them and from you. Leave or don't leave, suit yourself. But I have warned you.
Not much of an explanation. I guess that's what we get for being curious.
You know what they say about being curious.
No, what do they say?
I'll tell you tomorrow.
You'll tell me.
I didn't really expect to get you that easy.
It wasn't really. Wait. What is that sound?
Wind?
No. Listen some more. Don't you hear that?
I think I do. And it sounds a little sad.
Without a word, they followed the sound into the trees. The deeper they got, the louder the sound was. And the more they were lost.
It sounds like she's crying.
Yes, I agree, but exactly where is she?
Up here.
I'm right behind you.
Whoa!
What?
Over there!
Oh my! It's an incredible treehouse.
She's inside.
Are you all right, miss?
Please leave me alone!
But we only wish to help.
You can't just go.
We'd like to try. Perhaps if we understood what's going on here, we could help you. Besides, we cannot simply leave. You see, we have been lost at sea and we're hoping to find food and water.
After getting to the beach, a very large man with a sword chased away a crowd of sailors. He told us to leave too, but then we heard you crying. We couldn't stop ourselves from following the sound of your voice.
So you weren't here earlier? You didn't see how they treated me?
No. Did they hurt you?
The woman opened the door. She was lovely. Her hair was a golden shade of brown and came only down to where it just touched her shoulders. Her cheeks and her chin formed some rather delightful curves. The rest of her body was also quite pleasing. She was wearing what seemed to be an animal skin, but well tailored to fit her shape. Though not exceptionally attractive, she was nonetheless appealing. And, even being red and worn from her tears, her eyes still seemed as deep as the ocean.
No, not with their hands, but with their words they did.
Forgive me, Lasara, but I simply don't understand any of this.
I am not Lasara.
But that is the only name we heard from the crowd of men at the beach. And they seem most highly in earnest to have her presence.
Of course they were. Lasara is the most powerful among us. With just a word or a note from her lips, they beg for more. After only a verse, they are caught. And before our song can be finished, a whole boatload of men will have happily given her their hearts.
Ah, I'm beginning to see. Lasara is
A siren! The mere sound of her voice lures men from the sea to their doom.
Feaster! That might be overstating the situation a bit, don't you think?
But that is how the legend is always told.
That may be so. Still, I think we might want to show this lovely young woman here a measure of respect. It seems to me that she may also be a siren. As such, we ought not to assume that she is necessarily as monstrous as the legends say. In fact, from what I can see, she is far from a monster. I should much prefer to learn the facts of the situation before learning such insulting conclusions.
Sorry.
Please, my lady, accept both mine and my companion's apologies for any insult you may feel at our reactions.
Oh, you have not insulted me. In fact, your kindness is a surprising comfort to me.
Then let me no longer overlook our introduction. My name is Narib. I am from the village of Lebno. This is my companion, Feaster. I met him when my journey led me to Renara. We've been traveling together several months before landing here.
I am Rosina. This is the island of Tinenford, home of the Sirens. This is my home. It may seem simple to you, but I enjoy it tremendously.
It is a lovely home and a beautiful island. But we heard you crying in distress and followed the sound here. Believe me, it is not my usual reaction to intrude, but you seem to be hurt in some way. Feaster and I simply wanted to offer some assistance.
I'm not sure if there's anything you can do to assist me.
Maybe if you would tell us what is wrong, we could figure some way to help.
At the very least, we would be grateful for an explanation.
Very well. At your insistence, I will tell you my sorrow. But first, let me bring you some food and drink.
Thank you.
It seems fortunate for us to have found this woman. I do hope we can find some way to repay her kindness, feeding us like this.
I just hope that whatever she's got tastes better than the seagull would have.
I hope this is to your liking. You come from so far away, our island must seem very alien.
Everything we have seen is very lovely.
Yes, very lovely indeed.
Where are your manners?
Sorry.
It's quite understandable.
Please, go on with your explanation.
This is an island of sirens. And as you've heard, sirens have the power to lure men into compliance simply with their voice. There is no monstrous intent involved. It is simply the way we get men to help us with some of the work that must be done to keep our village alive. It is not because we are incapable of the work, but there just aren't enough of us to do the work before the season of storms begins each year. We choose those who are the strongest or have some other useful talents, and let the others return to their ships. In fact, we traditionally let the men who stay to help us leave after the season, if they are inclined to. Most do leave, but a few choose to stay permanently.
I can accept that easily enough.
You mentioned something about how the others had hurt you earlier. What exactly happened?
This morning, as many of us gathered on the beach to sing, Lasara was taunting me, as usual.
I see you're going to try again, Rosina. Maybe this time you might actually get one to turn his head away.
I don't see why she even bothers trying.
She should simply give up if she can't make it work.
Maybe she's not really one of us. It's possible, isn't it?
I was born here just like the rest of you. But But aren't you just like the rest of us? You aren't just like the rest of us, are you?
We should just send her off with the next boatload of men.
Life with even the worst man would be preferable to one with you.
Then go. Persuade some handsome young sailor to sweep you away with the next tide.
You know I can't do that.
Oh, that's right. She can't even get an ugly one to take her.
That's not what I mean. Our laws, our traditions, they cannot
be violated. No one born as a siren can leave. I know. I guess we're just stuck with you.
Da, 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 da.
It has been this way for many seasons now. Lately, however, Lasara doesn't let the men leave once the work is done. She keeps them as slaves, either working as guards or as laborers. She and her friends have become increasingly abusive of them, and they are quite cruel to anyone who dares speak out against them.
They are so entranced they will do anything for her?
Terrible. Yes, and her inner circle of friends serve as captains over the guards and laborers. And they are just as selfish as she is. I would love to do something about it all.
Surely there are others who share your opinion of this tyrant. Working together, you may be able to overthrow her.
And if you got enough men to fight for you, you might have an even greater chance.
Well, there are others who wish to rebel. We've tried gathering as many as will fight to do so. But for now, we are too weak to succeed. For myself, I simply have no skills as a siren. My voice simply doesn't lure the men. If I cannot be a siren, and if I'm not welcome here, I don't know what I should do.
You could leave. I know it's much easier for me to suggest such a thing than it must be for you to follow through with it.
Oh, that suggestion becomes more tempting as time goes by, particularly with your suggesting it.
So you have no power as a siren?
None at all.
As her song continued, both Beaster and Narib seemed content to listen, their gaze fixed on her face. When she finished her song, her eyes seemed to ask for approval.
That was beautiful.
Yes, absolutely lovely.
Thank you. But it didn't work. You two aren't entranced. It's like they say, I'm not a siren at all.
I don't feel any different. But how do you know?
Well, I can see it in your eyes.
Oh. How about you, Narib? Are you feeling any effects from Rosina?
I don't think so. But there was something, I can't quite find the words.
Fine. I'm not affected, you're not affected. I guess that means you're right, Rosina.
I wish you could stay with me. Help me fight against Lasara.
That's an offer I am tempted to take you up on. But I started this journey to find something my parents left me after their deaths. In short, a family heirloom contained clues to a mysterious treasure. Having no other family to keep me in my village, I have followed those clues.
If you are not brothers, why then do you travel with Narib?
No, definitely not brothers. I met Narib when he came to Reynara, my village. I was intrigued by his puzzle and decided that a little adventure was just what I needed.
I see. And just where is your treasure?
I still do not know, but I will find it.
I think our best choice is to find our way back to our boat, but we lost all sense of direction coming here.
I can help you. Just give me a few minutes to put together a few things.
Put a few things together for what?
Well, I'm going to need a few things if I'm going to join you on your journey.
Join us? What about those rules she mentioned?
We can't just leave her here in a state such as this. If she wants to leave, I, for one, won't stop her.
Fine. Let's just get moving. I've got a creepy feeling that we don't have much time left before something bad happens.
I'll lead the way. We'll want to get there before dark. Narib, tell me more about this family puzzle of yours.
My father was a carpenter, one of the most talented craftsmen in our village. He built projects as large as a home and as small as a toy soldier. Upon my parents' death, I found a box in Dad's workshop. I couldn't open it at first. There was no visible latch or hinge. It was a puzzle box. I had seen a couple of others like it he had made for customers. After a few weeks of attempting to unlock it, I was successful.
What was inside?
There was a letter and several stories. The letter explained that the stories were written by ancestors of ours. He had traveled around the world before settling in our village. The letter also claimed that a valuable treasure was hidden by an ancestor of mine. The clues, my father wrote, were to be found within the stories.
Why couldn't he have just written out directions to follow?
I don't know, I would have asked him if it were possible.
I think he just wanted to make sure no one could find it or steal it.
Perhaps, but to hide anything so valuable seems like a bit of a waste to me. Money or gold could be used to purchase what you need. Anything else of value would be best shared with one's family or friends.
I, for one, would be happy to just find it. I imagine others in my family may have tried to find the clues, but none were successful.
Did your father ever try to find it?
I don't know. If so, he never told me about it.
But now you've got my help, so we're bound to figure it out eventually.
May I read the stories? I might be able to find something you've overlooked.
The box is at the beach in our boat.
I just hope the boat is still there.
See, Vester? There's our boat, just as we left it. Nothing bad has happened to it or to us.
Let's get out to sea and then I'll feel better.
Me too.
Rosina, if you've changed your mind and prefer to stay, I would understand. I'm not really sure whether Vester and I are going to wind up next. We have faced dangers before and will likely see our share of more as we journey ahead.
I'm certain I'm better off with you.
As you wish.
Happy to have you aboard. It's all loaded and ready.
Rosina, just what are you doing?
Listara!
It seems that Vester was right. Our travelers didn't quite make it back to their boat and the safety of the ocean, at least not without having to face more dangers here on the island of Sirens. Previously, our adventurers found themselves on the island of the Sirens. Having heard the story of one particular siren named Rosina, they decided to leave. She wishes to leave with them, but something or someone is standing in their way.
I'm leaving, Listara. You've never really wanted me here anyway, so why not?
Hear that, ladies? She wants to leave. She doesn't feel welcome here. What do you say to that?
She isn't.
Yeah! Goodbye and good riddance.
We're better off without you. Getting rid of you might be mildly satisfying, but that's just not the way things are done. Besides, if we keep you around, the rest of us look good by comparison.
I beg to differ.
You do you? Just why is that? And who are you that I should even bother with anything you have to say?
I am Narib of Levno. I count Rosina to be a friend. If she wishes to come with us, I, for one, am content to have her along.
Suppose for the moment this wretched thing did leave the island. Where would you take her?
Away from here. Far, far away.
If I wanted an answer from whatever kind of vermin you are, I would scrape it off from the bottom of my sandal.
Why, you...
Vester, remain calm. We'll get nowhere with our anger that our reason can't get to sooner. We were on a personal quest and became lost at sea. It seems that chance guided us to your shore. We asked nothing more than to gather some meager provisions and perhaps regain our sense of direction. We seek to leave now without any harm or insult.
And you would take her with you?
Yes.
This is what you want?
Yes.
Do you not know where it is that you have landed?
Tinenford, island of the Sirens.
And do you not know just what a siren is? I realize that she is not the best example you could have found, but still you are in a certain amount of danger here. The sentinel must have warned you.
He did. And Rosina, though not as powerful as others, has been a most gracious hostess.
So gracious that you choose to leave? And you say you mean no insult. I say you must stay and enjoy more of our hospitality. Seize them.
Whoa!
Whoa! Why are you doing this?
Let us go!
No one leaves unless I say so, especially her.
Why? Clearly she is no threat to you.
It is forbidden. No siren has ever left our island. It is one of our laws. Laws as old as our powers. And if that isn't reason enough, legend has it that if a siren leaves the island, she begins to lose her power. Soon she would be as vulnerable to the abuse and suffering at the hands of men as the rest of your women are. So in fact, We would be doing Rosina a favor to keep her here.
We would never abuse Rosina.
Much easier said than done.
You have no right to keep us here.
But I do have the power. Take them back to the village and lock them up until I decide their fate. And to be sure they cooperate well enough, do whatever my soldiers command.
Whatever you wish.
And just what will that fate be? Will they be kept as prisoners, turned into slaves under Lysara's power? Or perhaps something even darker, more sinister?
Ooh, you brought us a couple of men.
Well, and they said prison wouldn't be any fun.
There's the worthless one also.
Her name is Rosina.
I've got a better name for all of you.
First chance I get, I'll rip your tongue out.
Enough chatter. Stay quiet. Dinner will be served soon. For us, not you.
Rosina, is that really you?
Yes, Sheila?
Yes, Tilly's here too.
Anything to stay away from that tyrant.
What did you do that Lysara finally arrested you?
I was trying to leave.
With those men?
Yes.
How? I didn't think you had the power.
They managed to find my home while wandering in the forest. They heard me crying and wanted to help.
Who was controlling them?
No one. It seems they arrived after Lysara finished her usual performance.
Men who want to help without hearing us first? I doubt it. It was probably all set up as a trap from the beginning.
It's true.
Have you men got anything to say in your defense?
They stopped talking on the way back from the beach. Lysara put them into a trance to make them obey the soldiers. When one yelled at them to be silent, they did.
I really wish we could break out of here. We've been planning to confront Lysara tomorrow.
I'm not sure if they'll even attempt it without us.
Why not?
We were going to be part of the plan to distract her soldiers. With us in here, that's not going to happen.
Oh, not to worry. Our rebels will just make another plan.
If only we could find some advantage, some weapon.
It just gets more hopeless the harder we try.
What? Mom? What's that?
They're talking now? What about Lysara's spell?
Could something have broken the spell?
Where are we?
Are we in prison?
No, this is our version of the disco.
Disco?
Don't mind Tilly. Manners are not her strong point.
And humor ain't yours.
Narib, Veester, these are two of my friends, Sheila and Tilly. They're here for being rebels.
Nice to meet you. But why don't I remember getting here from the beach?
Maybe it's a side effect from the spell.
Rosina said you wanted to help her leave the island. Is that true?
Yes, naturally.
Then exactly how did you two manage to avoid getting put under Lysara's spell?
We didn't. She caught us before we could leave.
Not then. I mean, when you first got on the island.
Oh, well, Lysara and the others must have already been finished and just left. When we arrived, the beach was full of men begging for more.
A fight even broke out between one of the sailors and the sentinel.
Then we heard Rosina's crying and followed the sound to her home in the forest.
All the way from the beach? You heard her cry that far off?
We had no idea how far it was. We heard it and followed.
Rosina, how deep did Lysara put these guys when you were captured?
I'm not sure. Deep enough to stop them resisting instantly.
Beesker? Walid? Am I pronouncing your names correctly?
No, I am Narib, and he is pronounced Veester.
Narib, Veester.
Yes?
Narib, Veester.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead and ask me your question.
Your pronunciation is much better, but why are you singing our name?
And why isn't it working?
Maybe you're not any good at it. Just like poor Rosina here.
That ain't it.
The snake gave me an idea. I'm not sure if it'll work. If it does, be ready to escape. There won't be much time.
The snake? What are we going to do?
You'll see. Tilly, call the guards over and pretend you're going to vomit.
No problem. I don't know what that was you guys fed us this morning, but I think I'm about to have another look.
It's your turn. Go make sure the loudmouth doesn't make a mess we gotta clean up. It's always my turn. Fine, we'll both go. That way you can check her while I keep an eye on the rest. Okay.
Rosina, the snake! I'll explain later. For now, just lock them in the cell while we get away from here.
And go where? This is an island. They're bound to find us sooner or later.
I'll choose later. There's a place we can hide until morning.
And after that?
Once we're safe, I'll fill you in on my plan.
And so our heroes manage to escape the prison. But on an island of sirens, how far can they expect to get? How long can they hide? And what exactly is Sheila's plan?
All right, let me explain. Back in the prison, when Rosina saw the snake and screamed, you two snapped out of your spell.
How?
I'm not quite sure how it works, but it does. And when I tried to put you under for myself, I couldn't. Once the spell was broken, you were immune. We've never heard of anything like this before.
Are you saying that Rosina does have power, but it works in reverse? Breaking a siren spell instead of casting it?
Yes.
But Rosina wasn't singing, she screamed.
I know. It must be something about finding just the right pitch and volume.
So when she did it again, the guards were pulled out of their spell. But why did they stop moving? Narib and I weren't paralyzed.
They've been under Lasara's spell for so long that it must have been something of a shock to be released. They would have needed a few moments to adjust.
Just enough time for us to get away.
Exactly how is this going to help us defeat Lasara? Even if I can free all the men, we don't have enough weapons.
What kind of weapons?
Whatever we've stockpiled from the ships abandoned on the beach. It may not be much, but if the men will fight, it will help even things up a bit.
What if the men don't want to fight? They might simply try to run away.
We could always try to grab some more weapons while they get over the shock of being free.
We'll have to try. Besides, once her power is shown to be useless, Lasara might have a hard time keeping anyone's loyalty. Right now, we must get word to the rest of the rebels so they know what to expect.
How do we do that?
Tilly and I know where they are. We could go after sundown.
Should we leave Rosina here alone with these men?
Why not?
No offense, but neither of you look strong enough to fight off armed guards.
Then we could go tell the rebels of the change in plan.
But you don't know where they are. You'd most likely only get caught. Tilly, you and Veester can stay here and help guard Rosina. I'll take Narib with me to help explain the whole situation to our friends.
How do I help you, Sheila?
You're the proof that Rosina's new talent really works.
Then let's get going.
Please be careful.
Good night, Rosina.
Good night, Sheila. So, how good are you with the spear?
I'll do well enough if I must, but I am far more practiced with a slingshot.
So, how much longer until you grow up?
Ugh, you weren't a girl.
Girl, I'm a full-grown woman and a better warrior than you could ever be.
I've handled my share of fights. Back in Reynara, there wasn't a wolf alive that would have dreamed to stand up to me.
Really? Is that because you were too busy laughing once they saw how short you are?
Please, would you two just stop fighting each other and save it for the battle tomorrow? It'll be hard enough to sleep tonight thinking about it.
You're right.
Fine, fine. We'll try to get some sleep.
And try they did to get some sleep. But the morning came all too soon. The rebels' plan to confront Lasara was set in motion. Our heroes and their friends made their way to the beach. Lasara and her followers were already there, getting ready for another wave of eager sailors to meet their fate.
Be on the lookout for the rebel prisoners, and especially for those 2 men they stole. I would hate to have them ruin a perfectly good morning.
You don't think the rebels could be up to something, do you?
Yeah, we still haven't caught the prisoners.
We don't even know how they managed to escape. None of that matters. They will be caught. They are weak and few in numbers, with even less weapons. What threat could they possibly pose?
I see some ships starting to come.
Just what I like. Lots of men to choose from.
What is that sound? Lasara, your reign of terror ends today!
Fools! You've tried this before, Sheila. What makes you think you can achieve anything different this time?
We have a secret weapon you cannot defeat.
Isn't those 2 pitiful excuses for men that escaped from prison? They have nothing that countless other men haven't brought to our island. Bring them out and let my guards take care of them.
We are here.
Bring on your guards. I am not afraid.
Neither are the rest of us.
Yeah!
Well, if it's a fight you want, a fight you shall have. Attack! And this time we will put them in their graves, not prison cells.
Rosina, no!
It's working!
Get her, ladies! Don't let this start! We're
I'm free? It has been so long. Where is Lasara?
I don't know how you did this, but you rebels will not defeat me!
Let me at her. I must avenge the death of my crew. Ah! And now, you monstrous witch, you will pay for the lives you have stolen.
Stop!
Why? My ship was my only home, my crew my only family. She took them from me. She killed them, 45 men in all. I alone was spared so that she might torture me with the grief. With her evil spell, she forced me to do her bidding. I had to watch countless men be taken as slaves and eventually killed.
Our laws prohibit us from killing each other.
Even in battle?
It is to be avoided. Even as rebels, we were only put in prison, never executed.
But you heard her, didn't you? She commanded her guards to kill us. What mercy does she deserve?
None, I assure you. But we were rebelling against her tyranny, her abuse of the laws. We gain no victory by abusing them for ourselves. We shall hold her prisoner while we form a new government, one that follows our laws, our traditions. Then we can decide fairly what punishment is just. Believe me, it will be a most unusual case in any event.
Are you certain that your prison will hold her?
It should. And if it doesn't, where can she go? This is an island. She would be found and punished all the more severely. Sentinel, bind her up and lock her up. The same for her captains.
With pleasure.
Yay! Nareeb, Feaster, will you stay? You would not only be most welcome, but I believe your help would be highly appreciated.
We are happy to stay for a time and celebrate your victory with you, but eventually I will have to leave. I have yet to find what I've been looking for.
You may stay for as long as you wish as my guests. When you must leave, you will have my blessing. You will also have my invitation to return after you have found your treasure and make your way back home. Perhaps then I can convince you to stay.
But you don't have the power to...
Feaster, simply be quiet and smile.
And so ends yet another adventure for our friends. What will they find next as their journey continues? Tune in next time to find out.